हेलो एवरीवन, आई वेलकम यू बैक टू द प्राइम। और आज हम शुरू कर रहे हैं हमारे टॉपिक से। हम अभी तक बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन, आई होप आपको सारे क्वेश्चन आपने उनको अपने शॉर्ट नोट किया होगा, जिनसे आपको जो आपने सीखा। और आप अब एक ऑलमोस्ट एग्जाम आ चुका है। आज हम कुछ सवालों को देख रहे हैं। सवालों में कुछ अलग प्रकार की बोली जाएंगी आपसे। कॉन्सेप्ट सेम है, तरीके वही हैं, बट उनको पढ़ने का, उनको वे द क्वेश्चन आज द लैंग्वेज दे आर चूजिंग इज complete. So I would like you guys to join the session, share it as well, and like. So I hope your preparation is going good. Let's start without wasting any further time. For starting, all know that you have to do an intro. If there are students are joining batch, I would like that the targeted batches to the particular exam like GATE, JEE, RRB, MPPSC, TSI, ITI principal, and other have launched all the batches. All the batches are live, and batches are being conducted separately for this particular. Have to prepare for AE, and you not be expecting that you can score very good in JEE itself. Level of the are very from the similar topic. For example, the question oil mechanics will have a different type of and approach, the time required to solve. In the exam has a complete exam, and RRBJ also very different. Fact that you have done the syllabus according to GATE or KC or MPPC. Now I am might be there are some and polishing done. So I would request you guys first select your focus. For example, SSC is very good exam. Services or NTPC-Aee are the exams which are regular exams. The exam according to your, then start preparing for that. I am saying that you should for a particular exam, but you should be filling the form for each exams and you attempt all the exams. That is very important. But first on an exam, your resource and have to revise it. That's what I want to not be waiting in RRB JEE game. Started pick an exam you're complete done according to that exam. So at the end, prepared to give this, and you can expect a rank. These are the batches which are live and based on revised first based on these exams. You download our app and you will see the interface like this. For example, if we pick or if we state in the so the part A, Arohan batch 1 NTPC provided live and recorded from sir, and the batch is live, enrolled in it, and the going smoothly. If you want only technical portion, live and recorded batches are over there, and want a course as per the revised syllabus. So we have all the three to do the non part. Everything available over for Tgpcb-Aee exam, our Eco Shakti batch, NTPC Assistant Officer exam, Eco Elite batch, and for MPPC warrior batch are compared with both live and job your batches have very highly focused concepts. So that's it. Now it's time forward following our questions. You can use our app which is able for Apple Store and all. So I guess three people have joined. So it's time to start the question. Question number expecting friends from the app has also joined. Start without wasting further. Here we have the question. One, the question number that a water treatment plant treats the water with a high non-carbonate hardness and requires the addition of both lime and soda ash. If the raw water contains an equilibrium concentration of carbon dioxide, which of the following statements completely accurately describes the chemical physics of this? The language is little bit difficult, but the concepts are very simple, very similar to what we have studied in the classes. The option A is the lime must be added first to neutralize the CO2 as CO2 consumes lime without contributing hardness removal. Second option is soda ash must be added first because it converts non-carbonate hardness into a carbonate which lime then precipitate. The option is lime and soda ash can be added in any sequence or simultaneously because the precipitation constants are completely dependent, or the D option is CO2 does not react with lime, reacts exclusively with soda ash to form the sodium bicarbonate. You can expect such type of question, only one or two type such type of question, because here we want to learn a concept related to lime and soda and its function and what certain. So you can expect this type of question, but not more than two or three. But a type of consume a lot of time, but it can be cracked in just 5 seconds. But it will take a lot of time, and it will be a trap question that you don't have time on it, or uh, you get ended up wasting 5 minutes. Then you realize that the question was for anyone like to give the answer forward. If no, the answer by A. So um, just a moment. Alak Pandey is over here, and I welcome you back to the platform of time. वॉइस लो है, वॉइस लो आ रही है, बस मुझे वो करना था एक बार. हेलो, अभी आपको आवाज क्लियर है अलक पांडे जी? इज माय वॉइस? तो द मेरे हिसाब से वॉइस अब सही है. सो पांडे जी हैज गिवन द राइट आंसर. आंसर इज ए. लेट्स सी द लॉजिक पे. तो फ्री CO2 रिएक्ट्स रैपिडली विथ. तो हमें ये रिएक्शन बहुत अच्छे से पता है, CO2 एंड कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड, एंड दे रिएक्ट एंड फॉर्म कैल्शियम carbonate. The reaction exerts a baseline lime demand without removing any raw water hardness. Thus, lime must be added in sufficient quantity to neutralize the CO2 before it effectively raises the pH to precipitate the carbonate hardness and the ignition. This concept should be very much clear in your mind. Otherwise, such type of question will bring some of the to your life. For example, if we see the option number B, soda must be added first. So B is wrong because the soda is primarily meant to supply the carbonate ions to precipitate the non-carbonate calcium hardness and does not interact with lime in that manner. So should also be clear about working of this, why we are putting just to convert the non-carbonate and to just make them precipitate. C is obviously wrong. Lime and soda act independently in any sequence. Sequence actually matters, otherwise pH का प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट हो जाएगा और हमारा जो ऑप्शन है does not react with lime, तो ये तो पूरा फैक्चुअली गलत हो गया. So we will move forward. Next question. Question number 2 is, a rapid send filter is undergoing backwashing if the fluid, this velocity will create a lot of confusion to some people, but utilization velocity matches the terminal setting velocity of the mean send particle size. What will most likely happen to the filter bed operation structure? So this is also a question which has a lot of words in it, but it will take hardly 5 seconds to crack this question. But still, I have given these types of questions. They will consume your time, and since the exam has speed and accuracy, these are the questions will bring. 4 people are watching. I am expecting that you guys are going to like the question, and anybody with the answer, I am waiting in the chat. Nobody or somebody. अभी तक किसी ने आंसर नहीं दी. But the option number is optimal expansion will occur, leading to the highly efficient scrubbing of impurity. Option number B is complete washout of the media will take place, destroying the configuration of the bed. Option number C is the bed will remain completely static because the head loss exactly the buoyant weight. The sand particle will undergo severe abrasion, crushing, transforming into the fine silt. So here we should be understanding that this the term should not be confused. If it matches the terminal setting velocity, what is going, everything is to wash out because the upward velocity has been by the downward velocity. Must be feeling like, what is this term? I am not aware of it, so I should not be doing this question. But complete washout will be, the velocity must always be lower than the terminal velocity. Should be aware of this point, because if the upward backwash velocity becomes equal with the terminal setting velocity, net downward force on the particles becomes zero, causing them to transport out the filter along with the wash out, and the complete head with option A. Why option A is wrong? Option A, optimal expansion will occur. It is wrong because optimal expansion occurs when backwash velocity is roughly 0.5 to 0.6 times of the terminal. Option C, the bed will remain completely static. Option C describes the point of minimum this fluidization velocity, where velocity is very much lower. And option D, sand particle will undergo severe abrasion crushing. No, the have arrived to question. The incorrect because macro crushing is caused by the mechanism of not hydrodynamic oxidation at terminal velocity. So I guess the question must be clear to you all. We have reached question number. An environmental engineer evaluated two different aerobic biological systems. The first one is activated sludge process operating at a high mean cell residential time, which is as MCRT, which is equal to 20 days, and a high rate trickling, which operational property is fundamentally true regarding the high MCRT ASP. I am expecting that sometimes they are not going to give even the full form of this high MCRT ASP because the exam is completely oriented on environmental. They are expecting which operational properties fundamental high MCRT. Anyone? The option. The sludge production rate will be higher due to stock field microbial growth. Second option is the specific oxygen utilization. हम SOUR भी कहते हैं will be significantly lower result high end. Option number C, system will favor the heterotropic carbon entirely suppressing nitrifying bacteria. And the last one is the effluent will contain exceptionally high level of dissolved or carbon to the biomass. Why I have brought these questions? Because the lot of the but my objective is be aware of comparing the and such type of time consuming questions are very easy to be solved in within 5 to 10 these, but it will take at least 1 minute to read and understand what is being asked. So should be having a questions because in the last from last sessions we have done very factual based questions which required and accuracy. These are the question ranks. Since nobody has given the answer, I would like to move forward. I like to tell you that when two units are compared, which operational property fundamentally true regarding the high MCRT SP. So be aware of these what these are they are working, not just the design data कि आपने रट लिया और आपका ये रटा. So according to me, according to the answer, the reason behind it, specific oxygen, the S, there are certain numericals which you might have solved regarding this, will be significantly lower, resulting in a high endogenous respiration. Because the residence mean cell residential time is very high, which is 20 days. In 20 days, endogenous start. I hope you are aware of what endogenous or we are going to. So, correct answer high MCTR or high sludge A. Now you might remember, acha MCRT is nothing but the sludges. Means the microorganisms are held in the system for extended duration under the limited few food availability. So the F by M ratio. So we have a limited food availability and large number of them. What going to happen at a time they are going to consume themselves for each other. That is what known as endogenous respiration. This derives the culture into the endogenous phase where they oxidize their own cellular material, leading to the slow SOUR and reduce net sludge production. These are highly fundamental concepts which you should be aware of. If you are not, should आज वाले question आग, yes, I have brought these questions because these are the speed breakers in your rank. Guys are very much aware of the, but you have to get a rank. That's our objective. Cut off rank. समझ रहे हैं? The option A is wrong because sludge production decreases at high MCRT due to the endogenous decay. Option number C is wrong. Why option number C is wrong? System favors the heterotopic carbonation. Why it is wrong? Because long MCRT are precisely what allows slow growing nitrifiers or nitrosomonas. Why I have given these names and not these names? Because you are aware of these. But since the exam is highly focused on environmental graduates, the people who have done a good amount of studies and in-depth knowledge of these concepts, they should be aware of these things. And option D is correct because long sludge age yields to be highly stabilized, high quality equipment with low organic carbons. Okay, so they just asked the observation, what will happen if the sludge age is increased. So if you know this concept, they will know that this guy is a rancor material. Question number 4, pollution streams. Two air pollution streams contain particulate matter. Okay, the stream X has particles predominantly in 0.1 to 1 micrometer range. Okay, we got the idea about the stream X. The stream Y has particles predominantly in the 10 to 50 micrometer range. Now select the most efficient combination of the control device to treat these streams sequentially. So here you should, the student who must have wrote the concept or wrote the questions कि हाँ इसकी efficiency इतनी, this is higher efficiency. I have just learned the previous year questions कि there is very less chance that he or she will solve this question. The student who must have gone through the basic understanding can solve this question. And also sometimes you can eliminate the options by just the data which you have remembered from the previous year. So we just need to tell the sequence of the units for the stream X and stream Y, and for stream X and stream Y they have given the data for the range of the particles. Today the question level is very good, so I am seeing that very people are giving answers. In fact, I have not received any answer from the question 2. Question number 3 and 4, nobody has given. So we can see that if you practice these questions, there is high chances that you are get a rank. Selection is good, but rank is sometimes. So I guess the people over here have not given the answer. I can see the chat, so we will move forward. So we have name of some units: cyclone separator, fabric filter, cyclone separator, electrostatic precipitator, gravitational settling chamber, or venturi scrubber, settling chamber, or fabric filter. For me, I would have solved this question. I would have gone with the electrostatic for this X because these are very tiny objects, almost in the micrometer range. No point of gravitation over there. Fabric filter might be there, but since their size is very less, cannot go with them. Okay, so I would have gone with the option. Reason is stream X contains submicron particles which are highly susceptible to the electrostatic forces or fabric filtration but escapes inertial collection. Okay. Electrostatic precipitations offer excellent collection efficiency for fine submicron fractions. Should be aware of these questions. These concepts are very important. Stream Y contains coarse particle that is higher than 10 microns that can be easily and economically pre cyclone precipitator or gravitational chamber to avoid the overloading downstream fine devices. Option B represents the most optimized match. They are not expecting that you should be remembering the data. They are expecting over here that you should be aware of the concepts behind the units and what is the relation between the size and the selection of the unit. So, since the size is very less, highly susceptible to electrostatic force. Option A is inverted because cyclone fails completely on 0.1 micron particles. Should be remembering this point because it is going to help you in eliminating the options. Option C is inverted because settling chamber cannot capture submicron particles. Yes, we are aware of it. Option D is theoretically clean. Theoretically clean because we are using the fabric stream for X, but economically less viable than B, since Y stream does not need full fabric filtration if handled by settling chamber. So B remains the classical interstitial trip. Okay, so there were two concepts. First, the theoretical aspect which we have learned in the lesson. So the concept. Okay, then the second thing came was the, so only two things are going to define everything related to the civil engineering or any engineering aspect, the theoretical concept. So the answer you have to select on that basis. So if you have given the right answer with that logic, you have an aptitude of selecting the things based on the theoretical concepts and the economical aspects, and that's what makes a good engineer. Question number 5, consider the BOD kinetics of a wastewater sample. The 5-day BOD at 20 degrees Celsius is evaluated as 200 milligrams per liter. If identical test is run at 27 degrees Celsius, what will be the exact trend of 5-day BOD value and the ultimate BOD value? It is L not, it is a typo. Or so they have given all the data and not expecting you to solve a numerical. They are just trying to understand that how analytically you think and do you actually understand the concepts behind the behind the concept. So they are not asking the exact value, asking you. So Alak Pandey ji has given the answer B for the, I guess, for the last question. Since for the Alak Pandey ji only I have mentioned, I have started mentioning, but I would request Alak Pandey ji write the question number and answer also. Option A, option B, C. So they are not asking what, they are just asking that what do you infer from, what are your intuition, not be based on your intuition, it should be based on your technical intuition which you have grasped deeper. Nobody has given the answer, so I will move forward and we'll see options. So since they have calculated everything based on 5-day BOD at 20 degrees Celsius and which is being calculated as 200 milligram, if same test is done at 27 degrees Celsius, what they are trying to tell you is we have done this similar test at higher temperature. So what is going to be the exact trend for the, so uh, what is going to happen? The 5-day BOD will increase while the ultimate BOD theoretically unchanged. the temperature change always changes the rate of reaction. It always affects the rate of reaction, but not the final product. So the temperature might make the reaction fast or make the reaction slow, but the end product is going to be same. Similar concepts are being used in the hydration of cement. By changing the composition of the cement, you can change the hydration of the cement, rate of the hydration, but the amount of the heat released in calories or the joule will remain constant. So I guess the answer is A, because 5-day BOD will decrease and ultimate BOD should not decrease, not so decrease. 5-day BOD will decrease because high temperature. This is also a sense. So the answer is A, and we have all the concepts behind it. Deoxygenation rate, it increases with Kt equal to K20 theta T. We have this ratio, so that here it is 20. For 20, we have this data. If we have the change temperature, the value of K changes, as because the rate constant is higher at, you can see that if we have increased temperature, you will get, as the temperature is increased, the theta value increase and the Kt will, organics are oxidized faster. The organics are going to be oxidized faster, means more oxygen is consumed within first 5 days, because the total amount of biodegradable organic matter available is fixed, which is L naught. Fixed is a fixed chemical property of the waste sample and remains unchanged, and other options are wrong, we have already. Question number 6. In anaerobic digestion, in anaerobic digestion of municipal sewage sludge, a sudden drop in the pH below 6.5 is accompanied by a sharp increase in the volatile fatty acids to total alkalinity ratio, indicates which biological phenomena. This is also one of the classical question which includes two different concepts but asked in the form of ratio, and I guess I am expecting an answer from this question, because if you guys are facing problem trouble in solving, to have a good knowledge of solving the previous year questions, you have learned the factual based data, but you guys are lacking a little bit things related to the concept. So the point is, it is not going to actually going to hamper the rank which you are going to. Obviously these questions are speed breaker questions, but still you will find these questions someday or the another in one of your exams. What is going to happen? Since nobody has given the answer, I will move forward with the option number B, and we should be very much interested in knowing why this option. So, in anaerobic digestion of municipal sewage sludge, a sudden drop in pH. So, there is a sudden drop in pH below 6.5, accompanied by a sharp increase in the volatile fatty acids to the alkalinity ratio, indicates which of the biological phenomena. So obviously, if the fatty acids are increasing, the acidogenesis or acetogenesis has outpaced the methanogenesis, leading to the organic acids accumulation and the systematic failure. This is what you need to understand. If you have the concept of acidogenesis and the methanogenesis, then you can understand in just 5 seconds, because more has been given to you. And why these options are incorrect, I have also given you the proper logic behind it. And anaerobic digestion is a syntropic, means two stage process. Fast growing acidogens convert complex organics into VF is volatile what what okay, which are then slowly converted into methane by sensitive methanogenesis. Okay, if the system is overloaded or shocked, acidogens rapidly produce them faster, and this मतलब दे देकर at the end of the day you are aware what is happening, you are going to crack the answer. Simple as that, nothing than that. And you should be aware of the rate of the growth between and so here I have stopped the trigger questions, and now you will find the trigger questions you are obviously solving from a lot of time. So here is one of the classical has appeared from all the level of exams from engineering services. Here you will find this question every year multiple times. The water sample exhibits the total alkalinity of 150 milligrams per liter as CS and a total hardness of 120 milligram as C. What will be deduced about the carbonate and the non-carbonate hardness from this water? What can you actually deduce from this? Carbonate hardness, anyone in the chat? Anyone? Nobody is, no one is to answer the question, so I will move forward. What we know as carbonate hardness and what we actually have is and total. So without any use of pen or anything, you can obviously tell that minimum of both. What we are going to get is total hardness and alkalinity of both will give carbonate hardness as 1. To have carbonate hardness and hardness as 120, then you are going to get 0 as non-carbonate. So this is one of the easiest questions. Nothing required, just a question which you need to know that sum of total hardness and the total alkalinity, and this thing is for that your answer is almost there. You just need to know this. Nothing concept like that of the previous have covered. Question number 8. Which of the following atmospheric stability condition is characterized by an environmental lapse rate that is less than the wet adiabatic lapse? So you can get just ELR and WALR, and you are expected to know forms of which of the following atmospheric stability condition is characterized by an environmental lapse rate that is less than ELR, that is then Anyone? One? Sorry for the disturbance, guys. Hello. I'm really sorry for the disturbance, but it was an urgent call which I have to take, but it is not that urgent than the class which are. What is the answer? Nobody is willing to answer. So if we are having this condition, what you are going to get? You are going to get absolute stable when LR is less than when LR is less than the rising parcel of the dry or complete cool faster than surrounding. Consequently, parcel parcel becomes colder and denser than its surrounding at an elevated altitude, forcing it back to its original position. This indicates an absolute well. We know we don't need stability in terms of our feeling. We have to from the of parcel. Okay, not the parcel that the delivery boy gives. Parcel the air are being option A. Option A, absolute unstable environment. Option A occurs when ELR is given. Option B occurs when condition sub conditional adiabatic. This is about this question. Now one of the classical question actually he is number 9, a sound pressure in a sound pressure level measurement. If two independent noise noise sources emits a sound level of 3 decibel each, and what will give combined sound pressure? What will be the cumulative combined sound level? सही है. One willing to answer this question. This question. Just need to apply the concept or since you obviously that there have just directly used are available, but nobody is giving the answer. You just even don't need to spend to how decibel has a plus for the value of talk to well as that nothing. Question number 10, during the dissolved using the standard vinegar, a white flocculent forms upon the and alkali iodide reagent. What does this white, all are aware of this, we need to know the presence test, and while doing the wing test, some brown color, some both of these colors indicate something, and that in conclusion of whether the sample of the body has oxygen, not whether the oxygen. So this it has a certain set of procedure which we here. What they are asking is upon the alkali reagent, what does the white color. Alok Sahuji, I am really sure your answer is B for the question number. Have given the then it obviously when the white color is there and the almost zero or nearly zero oxygen. The Winkler's method Mn checks with manganese oxide twice, which is a white. If dissolved oxygen is present, it could oxidize a brown colored oxide precipitate. What is actually happening is oxide and agar oxygen get to it and form the a brown color precipitate, we will know if it not present the sample to oxidize this will actually get if the precipitate of white color confirms that there is no oxygen. Number 11, a leachate collection in a modern landfill must be designed to which mechanism is the primary driving long-term flow of geotextile with the this is also a no not EAC no these questions are highly focused on environmental exams because the exam is going to test your ability of understanding whether you have actually gone through the environmental basic question. Not, you can check the title of the video and you will get the answer that why we are deep diving to the concepts of environmental thing, because the exam is on at collection here in the so that is why there will be two types of question. First type of question is basic level and the other type of question advanced level question. So since exam is almost by, we have almost covered the basic level of questions. These are the questions to decide rank. I have brought few of the questions over here which are completely going to slow your speed, but they can be cracked in 5-10 seconds. Speed and accuracy, so you guys are having a good accuracy, doing it. How we are going to, बिल्कुल सही, option number C is being given by, option number C is by, even you will not find this question because the exam is highly focused. From today's session you will only get 2 or 3 maximum are due, because you guys are giving the answers to that you get time. Section तो चाहिए, section out the rank. So I will go with the answer. The physical binding by code strong. The biochemical biofilm carbonate under the aerobic condition, chemical of this by organic solvent or thermal melt caused by of I will go with the option number. The reason behind this, the long-term fogging of the landfill tile and the pipes are given by the biological. Anaerobic microorganism builds complex biofilms on the filter surface which traps the fine particles. Simultaneously, the metabolic activity shifts the local heavy minerals are being precipitated like calcium carbonate right into the pores. So the option A is incorrect as the gravel act as the drainage element. What the option C is rare as given by you, as it regulated the landfill liners high density polymer H highly to standard solvent dissolution. Option D is incorrect because the landfill operates under the anaerobic condition, not high flux open. So our option is the more accurate answer. I know there might be a feeling that the question level is very high, but actually it is famous described and given to you will include these types of questions and the concepts be aware of. Question number 12. Why is the alum less effective as a motorcycle with extreme natural alum? Why is it? Alum requires bicarbonate alkaline and side precipitation or low alkaline alum compatible, or alum works effectively only by increasing carbonate hardness required to lacks some ions, or alum is an alkaline salt itself and needs to utilize its structure base. These questions are actually going to that you are going to skip, so that cut off cut. but it's completely up to you. Usually we became comfortable answering all the questions, like I can solve all the questions, and this is the pattern what might be feeling while doing questions on the live stream from. But my objective is to not to give you questions which you have already done. So what will be the point of giving those, solving those questions which are a bit different? The language is a little bit tricky, but the here we are doing practice of our speed. You have good, but you just attempted 20 questions out of 100. There is no have very good speed, but accuracy of there is also then should have the exam, be aware of these. Is there any ask me tough luck? It's okay, it's okay, but how things be done. LM requires the LM requires bicarbonate alkaline reactant LOH guys, if you remember aluminum hydroxide. This is obviously correct answer. Out. So the alum reacts with the bicarbonate alkalinity present in ox. Are well aware of this, and we are also aware of the quantity what is being produced. So we don't need to go into the further of each option because we are well aware concept. So you must have seen that this question a tricky one. This question seems like it must belong to some good exams, but actually we just solve this question and we the time we have cracked this, but by seeing the size of question, you will find that oh, I have a habit of get out of that feeling. Start out of your comfort zone. A water distribution, chronic drop in the and a persistent demand for internal habit. You know that the tuberculosis, frustration, and all like trust here of the cast iron. I have seen the cast. What is a micrological agent for frustration and another which a lot of in the cast iron or some of the pipes which has a lot of issues, and we need to know about the bacteria and what their actual uh, function is and how we can eliminate them so that don't get a changed cross section of the are being used so that a proper function be in and an optimized system being. One to answer this. The question is highly simple. This is a very highly simple and conceptual and higher probability. But since 4 lines are written, actually the question can be, what is the most probable microbiological agent responsible for this? You can get a 1 line question also like this. But we have written 2-3 lines just to make sure that you invest at least 1 minute on this question. And if your reading ability is not very good, you will again read this, fall into a trap of wasting time, which is very important, which you could have invested solving other questions. Have the answer is very simple. Anybody like to give the answer? I will wait for 30 seconds. Otherwise, I will move forward. One of the classical question, but since there are more than 3 lines, you have a mindset of no, this is not the question because I practice 1 liner. Get out of this perception, because most of the students who are part of our institute, we try to make sure that you don't just do the questions which are already present in the exam or in the form of previous year questions. You should be prepared for few of the questions which are going to define your how things are going to be, not be running out of. Anjali has given the answer, which is answer. I welcome Anjali ji. Give the she has given the, and we will move forward. Iron oxidizing obviously one accelerates biocorrosion. Should be aware of this. So, because a question can be asked that which bacteria are responsible for bio, or this term can be used in multiple permutation combinations from these and terminologies, and can be asked in assertion or reason or anything. Yes, Anjali ji, your answer is precisely correct. Let's move forward. Next question. Question is, the context of noise pollution, barrier is placed between source and the receiver. The annotation means two peaks or two values provided by this noise barrier depends fundamentally on which physical parameter. So basically, by using this term, they might have brought a confusion in your mind while reading the question. So again, psychologically, they are going to force you to scan, and here is the trap where you are going to lose your mark. So, being a smart guy, being a smart person, you should not be wasting your time used in these terminologies and directly solving this question. Hardly takes 20 solved. But if you are taking more than 30 or 45 seconds, it is a problem. This question can be done with an elimination, that Reynolds number is more of related something which is being related to water or hydraulics or something like that. Talking about, we have to see about option A and C or the option number E, both A and. So anybody willing to answer, or should I move forward? Ambient relative humidity and the absolute atmosphere. Obviously the humidity should not be affecting, or what do you think? The humidity affect this, or humidity has nothing to do with it, and we are going to eliminate option number B based on the criteria. Since option C is eliminated, option number E is also eliminated. Have option number A and D, color in the surface of the barrier film. Obviously, this has nothing, because color has nothing to do with it. And here we have learned something about a new number. This number, whatever you pronounce it doesn't matter. It's the wavelength of the sound to path lengths around the barrier. The wavelength of the sound to the path length is different around the barrier. Thing more than that. Question number 15. The multi-cyclone precipitation in during the operation, a sudden drop in the collection or coarse particle is observed while the total gas, which is the most plausible mechanical cause. Question number 15. If you have solved, if you feel like you can solve this question, just answer in the chat box, or I will move forward. Obviously, multi-cyclone system is installed in a sudden drop in efficiency for the force particle is observed while the total gas flow rate remains constant, which of the following mechanical cause. Since the total gas flow remains constant, then let's go through all the options. The hopper discharge valve is stuck open, allowing air to leak. The air is allowed to leak. The gas flow remains constant. The inlet velocity has increased beyond the critical cracking value. There is something correlated. Dust density has an expert process mode, and the gas temperature has dropped sharply, significantly lowering the. So, by reading all these questions, logically the option is correct. And the air leak dust hopper of the cyclone is a catastrophic cyclone of via full vortex system where the particles slide down the outer wall into the upper and clean air moves up the central core. If the hopper discharge the valve leak, external air is sucked into the lower pressure bottom zone. अब आपको इतना ज्यादा ये थ्योरी जानने की जरूरत नहीं है. Reason behind this, because since you are aware of the units, generally since we are dealing with the questions of civil engineering, depth of questions does not go into well, but if you have eliminated from the environmental thing, civil engineering, and you are highly focused on a civil environmental, should be aware of these concepts. Otherwise, you will just crack an exam without knowledge, and I guess this is not the right way. At least this is not. We should have some integrity that are we aware of these concepts or not. Cracking an exam is very different thing, and knowing the concepts is very different. So the answer is A. Why option B? Until why option B is wrong? He would typically increase the collection efficiency for coarse particle via higher centrifugal force up to a certain point. And what it is going to do that? That's why the option number B is wrong. Okay. So I would like to end this session at this point of time. I think these questions you might have find these questions difficult, but I am pretty sure that you are going to get some of the questions or in the similar pattern in your exam. Then you will say that sir was saying right. And if you feel like by solving these questions, if you feel like no, I don't want to solve, not the question therein exam, then you have a very wrong mindset, because on YouTube many of the platforms are trying to solve the questions and they are doing their job, nothing wrong in that. But you should be aware that why to solve those questions which are already known to you. If you can score 30 out of 30 the MCQ session, if you can solve 30 out of 30 means you have almost wasted your 1 hour. But if you have solved just 20 questions out of 30, the session was very helpful for you because you are going to learn that new 10 questions. But if you have just solved 10 questions out of 30, I guess either there is problem with the session, or which is very less probable because we do a lot of questions, then you need to accept it that मुझसे अगर सवाल नहीं, if I could not solve this, and this is very important for me because मैं कट ऑफ तो पार कर लूंगा बट रैंक भी तो है। और एंड इफ यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर कट ऑफ, देयर विल बी हाई चांसेस दैट 2 नंबर से रह गए, 3 नंबर से रह गए, 4 नंबर से रह गए। तो इट्स माय रिकमेंडेशन टू प्रिपेयर फॉर अ रैंक नोटा। so bye bye for this session. Thank you so much. गुड नाइट। तो गुड नाइट तो क्या ही बोले। इफ यू वांट to have resolved your queries, you can join our Telegram channel and also WhatsApp channel, that you can be updated with courses, and also you can talk to us, we can have a discussion group. Secondly, you should subscribe the channel if you want to, if you feel like we have like, comment, share and subscribe channel. Also, if you want to resolve your query, you can contact us on this number. We have offline center in the Barpua. All the courses are being taught in both online mode. Offline mode you can go to app, and in offline mode classes most nearby the video, our app and about. So thank you so much.